Our 2025 meeting of the Westport Select Board. Under Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. This is Steve Ouellette's final meeting on the Westport Select Board, so we're going to talk about him a little bit. But first announcement I have, our next meeting is 3 weeks from today. So we were working around an April holiday. So the next select board meeting will be on Monday, April 14, 3 weeks from today. Steve made a request that we acknowledge Farm Month. Do you want to talk about Farm Month, Steve?
I don't have the.
I have
Okay,
right
great.
there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thought you were going to talk about this. Just so everybody knows, March is Farm Month, so I was lucky enough to continue on the Agricultural Committee in Boston, so I'm looking forward to dealing with a lot of agricultural issues, and we've already had a few meetings with the regional reps. So just a reminder that March is Agricultural Month. Thank you. Very simple. Thanks.
So as you may know, Steve Ouellette was elected to be our state representative for the 8th Bristol County District. He started on January 1. He stayed on the select board until now so that we didn't have to have a special election. So, but this is the last meeting before the April 8 town election. So I invited more people, but maybe the rain kept people away. But I see family back there.
Thanks.
So we had Denise and Paula put together a list of what you have done in your 23 years here. But that's not true. It's the committees that you served on in your 23 years of service here in Westport. I think the one really notable for today is you have been the railroad commissioner for 15 years. And you participated on the Southeastern Mass Commuter Rail Task Force for 4 years. And today, you got to ride the train.
Yes.
to Boston.
Originally, it was supposed to connect through Westport to New Bedford, and obviously we had concerns with that, the impact in the community, so we got to address that, plus it would have been a huge cost.
And in addition to those committees, you have spent 21 years as the Select Board representative on the SERPID. I'm going to try to go, they didn't put them in order. You were 23 years on the Westport River Watershed Council, 22 years on the Westport Economic Development Task Force. You had 15 years on the Safety Regulation Board, 15 years on the MBTA Growth Management Task Force. You had 11 years on the Cable Advisory Board, 10 years on the Tax Incentive Financing Committee, and then 6 years on the Route 6 Advisory Task Force. That's another one you're going to see in multiple iterations of. You spent 8 years working on the Bike Walking Path Committee, and then kind of less than 5 years on the Bristol County Advisory Board, the Diamond 5-Year Strategic Planning Committee, the Infrastructure Oversight Committee, the Narrows Redevelopment Committee, the Recreation Commission, the Union Negotiations Advisory Board, and the Website Committee in 2005. So we're redoing the website now because it's a little dated, but the website was made possible because you were working on it in 2005. So I can't, and you started your service to Westport before your select board service as a reserve police officer. So you were a reserve officer from 1996 to 2001. And so we have a proclamation for you, and then I'm going to let people talk about you if they want. So this is a citation. Be it known that the Westport Select Board hereby expresses its appreciation and extends congratulations to Stephen J. Ouellette. It is with great pleasure and a sense of pride that the Westport Select Board present you with this official citation in appreciation and recognition of your 23 years of outstanding service to the town and its residents as a member of the Select Board and by serving on 18 committees and boards. On behalf of the citizens of the town of Westport, we are indeed proud to honor you and wish you the best of luck in your new job as a state representative.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We'll do this for a minute, but first I want to see if anyone on the board wants to say anything.
I'll start. It's been an honor to work with Steve, and I wish you the best of luck, and we elected the right person to go up to Beacon Hill.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You'll still be seeing me. Don't worry.
We will be seeing you for sure.
Yes.
Craig?
It's an honor to have worked with you out of 10 of your last 22 or 23 years on the select board. But I get the privilege of continuing to work for you. So
And I know I just learned so much from you about community and about how to get things done, and I didn't know what Serpide was before, and I'm really glad that you were doing that for us. So it just, that you've made a contribution to Westport, you've made your mark, and we're gonna keep you on our speed dial to make sure you're doing the good stuff for us from the state.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
So I know I invited former selectmen, there's only one here, but we have Tony Vieira here. And Tony, did you want to say anything? You served with Steve.
I didn't prepare anything because I thought Michael Sullivan would be here and he'd probably take up all the time, you know, so.
I did invite him.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a reason why he's not here. But Steve, I'm here just to thank you. I mean, I had the pleasure of working with you for many years when I was on the Finance Committee. We worked together on the economic development in town. Meditech, when they were moving down here and talking about that, Meatworks. I'm glad to see you still working with the farmers. That's appreciated. I spent 6 years with you as a selectman. Didn't always agree with you, but I appreciate where you were coming from. I knew you had in your mind what was best for the town. You thought you did your research on it, and you made decisions based on that. So I appreciate that. Paulie, you missed a couple of things, though, in Steve's career. One was his catching ability. I'm surprised he didn't talk to you about that. He was a catcher for Westport for many years when he was a youngster, and did a lot of other things around town in terms of trying to holiday seasons and cleaning up the town and so forth. And just a pleasure to work with. We had our differences certainly over the years, but again, a lot of respect, and we're proud of you, Steve. And I'm here too because I didn't see Rose. I don't know if Rose is here or not, but Rose is Steve's mom, and we went to school together.
Yeah.
So I started with Steve at a very young age. Steve was about 1 year old when I got to know him.
Before birth even.
And so we've had a few years together, but we're proud of you. We're proud that you're working for Westport, always have been, and we're definitely sure that when you participate at the state level, that you'll keep Westport in mind. So thank you. It's been a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it, Tony, thank you very much.
Anybody else have anything you want to say? Okay, now you get to make a speech.
No, I'm good, thank you
What was your
very much.
favorite part? What was your favorite part about being on the select board?
Oh,
What are your
obviously, the
favorite
good you
projects?
can do, the stuff people don't see behind the scenes, like you know, especially as chair, you gotta take care of a lot of stuff behind the scenes and try to straighten things out before it becomes, before we become an embarrassment. So, you know, I appreciate everybody that I've worked with. Unfortunately, some people are no longer with us with that long of you know, 22 years. But, you know, I just appreciate all the hard work in the town. You know, Tony knows he's been around a while. People do a lot of things and they don't want to get recognition for it. And I really appreciate it. My daughter was 12 when I started. Now she's over 30 and I got my grandson.
Grandson
So people that don't
Lincoln.
know, my daughter is my only child, so little dude's precious. So I appreciate everything the family had to do too through the years.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
Steve.
you.
We're going to do some pictures now.
Thank you. All right, and it was 86, not 96 for police.
86, all right.
Thanks, let's grab it.
We don't have good pictures in here.
Oh, all right.
Oh, we don't have
Fancy
taking
camera
a
right there.
picture.
How you know, give me a shot, please. Guys gotta get it. Together? Better? Wait, wait, Joe. Thank you.
Good job.
All right, thanks.
Good job. Did we embarrass you enough?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Got it? Thanks
Wanna
again, I
stay for the
appreciate you.
meeting?
Thanks for the good words, I appreciate it. All right, now to work.
Now you have to work. You gotta do some work on your last day. So the first item on the, is a public hearing. We have a request to approve the layout of Granite Post Road as shown on the plan entitled Roadway Layout Plan of Granite Post Road in Meadowbrook Farms, Phase 3, Westport, Massachusetts, dated January 22, 2025. Jim, you want to tell us what this is about?
Yeah, so the applicants is a citizen's petition to have the street accepted at the annual town meeting. It is on the warrant for acceptance. They need to go through the public hearing and public layout process, and that's why they're here tonight. We did get some comments back from the planning board. Planning board's still waiting for a couple of minor things, as-built plan, some loaming and seeding. They have some funds remaining in the account to cover this work, and they expect that work will be done within the next month or so, as soon as the weather breaks.
So the process here is for us to, you have the motion printed in our version here, the process is that we, the select board, would have a motion to accept the layout and add it to the warrant. And then the town meeting on May 6th would be approving the
The actual acceptance.
acceptance.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody on the board have any questions? These things are usually pretty straightforward. Is anybody here to speak on the Granite Post Road layout? If you want to say something, just go to the microphone and just give your name.
Bob Carrick. Hi. Just the as-built has been submitted, and just waiting for Mother Nature to get some grass to pop, so. Next.
So you don't see any problem complying with the comments from the planning board? Okay.
Through the chair, that leaves the motion the same, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right, if there's no other comments, I'll move it. Motion to accept the layout of Granite Post Road and add to the town meeting warrant for acceptance.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. So we have another one, a request to approve the layout of Maya Way as shown on the definitive subdivision plan entitled Maderos Farm Definitive Subdivision Plan of Land in Westport, Mass., prepared for Joseph Maderos, dated revised July 20, 2007, recorded in the Bristol County Registry of Deeds, Book 166, page 63. Jim?
So the planning board was okay with this one. I did get a correspondence from the highway department, where the highway surveyor noted that the retention areas and water management areas need to be cut, cleaned, and some of the trees removed. That was the only issue that they had on that particular road. I will say in my motion, it should be Maya Way and not Granite Post Road.
You did a copy
things
paste.
down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But again, I think these things can be addressed if needed prior to town meeting. It's not a lot of work that needs to be done. This has been an unaccepted road for a long time. The town assisted the planning board last year to get the final coat of pavement on, and I would recommend that at least the layout be accepted and have it sent to town meeting.
I know that there are some abutters here. Is there anybody who wanted to speak to this? You can go to the, well, first, did any of the board have any questions? No. Go ahead. Can you just say your name?
Hi, I'm Shelley Conway. I'm just curious as to how this would affect my property on 238 Charlotte White Road. It's lot 10.
So it shouldn't affect you at all. What happens with the road acceptance, the big, I got my foray into town government by trying to get my road accepted. So this is like an issue that's really dear to me. What that means is that we will use town funds to maintain the roadway. So the plowing and repairs, it also means a school bus could take that route. Now we're showing Maya, but, oh, that one.
Yeah, I just switched.
Oh, you switched it. So, but we're talking, so, it doesn't really affect anybody. It's just that who's gonna be maintaining the road.
Okay, so I will still have access to my property through the existing roadways.
Yeah, we're not changing anybody's access.
Okay.
It just goes from a private road to a public road if it's accepted, that's it.
Okay.
And the
thank-
public road should give you more access, actually.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, anybody else on the Maya Way?
My name is Felix. I have a question. The layout doesn't seem to be accurate. There's only one access road to lot 10, 9, and 8. So we're actually sharing that road. So the question is that a private or is that going to be public? Because it's in really bad shape right now and
So you're,
needs some paving.
so I think the road that's being accepted is the actual paved portion that brings you up to the cul-de-sac.
Just the one to the cul-de-sac?
Yeah, my understanding is there's a private driveway, and it is a private driveway that goes from just before the cul-de-sac down and services 2 or 3 lots
Okay.
to the south of the cul-de-sac. That'll remain private, that's not part of the acceptance.
Okay, so do you know if the builder is still under contract for that road? Because
That would be between you, whoever the property owners are and the builder, that's all private property, it's separate from the street acceptance itself.
Is this
Right.
you're talking about?
I am lot 9. Lot 10 was supposed to be built, and after that, is completed, the builder said they would pave the road that gives access to those 3 lots. But according to the diagram, each lot has an individual access road.
Yeah,
So, yeah, just,
the diagram shows that each lot has frontage along
but in
Maya
fact,
Way,
it's just a
but-
shared road, so just wanted to find out if,
Madam Chair, can
Which,
you point
yeah,
out?
can you point to where you're talking about on the map here?
It's right across the street from the third house from the bond club.
it's actually not showing here. It's right here.
Go down the end of the cul
Back here, right, so this,
Okay.
so the accepting this road wouldn't affect that at all, because it only is affecting the green, area.
Okay, all right. So, the question that I have is that something that we can work with the town to make that road public?
Sure, what you do is you petition to have your road.
Right.
You do exactly what, I don't know who did it on your behalf, but those guys could tell you. That you can talk to, who's the best person for him to talk to about how to do that?
I would, what you're referring to is a private drive that comes off the main road. So
Yeah.
to get that accepted, you would have to bring it up to town standards, which means you'd have to provide a 40-foot or 50-foot layout, put new pavement down, and bring it up to town standards, which would be quite a bit of work. The intent was for it to be a private driveway, and that's the way it was originally approved with the planning board years ago.
Okay, all right, thank you.
If you have, I can, certainly willing to talk to you, or Mike Barris in the planning office could go over it with you as well.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, thanks.
I have a quick question.
You can go to, you have to go to the mic. We can hear you in the room, but the video can't.
I'm Dave, I live on the last house on the left there. No, yeah, that's true. You said that the drainage areas need to be cleaned out and some trees cut down. Is there someone that's going to be able to handle that, or is that something,
I would check,
how does that get handled is the question?
normally the developer is doing that before it's accepted.
How's
This
that
is
working
one
out?
where the developer is kind of not involved anymore, so the planning board took the funds and did some of the work themselves. You could check with Mike Barris in the planning office and see if that's scheduled to be done.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Right now, a lot of us neighbors are cutting the grass around, I do all the work around the first pond, cut the grass around the pond across the street. I know they do up along the street, so, we've been doing that all along, so.
Yeah, really what this is gonna get you is snow plowing down the road, and I don't think a school bus would go down there because it's a cul-de-sac, but the ability for a school bus to go down is really what you're getting. And then repair of the road would be on the town.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
If the board doesn't have anything, I'll move it. Motion to accept the layout of Maya Way and to add to the town meeting warrant for acceptance.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. So you all will want to go to town meeting on May 6th, 7 PM. Thank you. The next item we have is a public hearing regarding a request from Vasily Avram, the owner-manager of AVR Plus Inc., doing business as Westport Auto Mall, for a Class II motor vehicle license and a repair license at 1052 State Road, Westport, Mass. A total of 150 cars. My understanding is they've changed that. But Mr. Avram, you want to come? You can come sit up the desk here. Yep. So can you just introduce yourself?
My name is Vasily Avram. I'm
You're the
came 20 years ago.
you're the applicant.
Yeah.
So Jim, do you want to talk about what you know?
Yeah, so originally the application came in, they had included some property to the rear of the triangle, and I don't have the map, but the triangle piece here.
Rick, can you ask them to go downstairs,
Please.
please? Oh, Rose, your mom missed it. Your mom just poked her head in the door.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Better late than never.
Sorry, Jim.
So this property was originally licensed for 38 cars. They wanted to expand it up to 150 cars by adding some land in the back, but the land in the back has not been before the planning board, and the plan has not been approved by the building inspector. So the applicant has decided to keep it at the 38 cars, which was previously approved, years ago, and at some point, he may go for additional cars, but at this point, he's just looking for the 38 cars. So we do have a plan on file that was approved by the building inspector, and we have a police report that indicates that they have no issues with the applicant operating at this site. So I think for the original site, the triangular piece, and for 38 cars, they do have favorable recommendations from the police department and the building inspector.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? My questions were related to how you get 150 cars on that
Yeah.
little triangle, but
Wetland.
yeah, I think I got the answer to that.
Wetlands back there, too.
You're not getting 150 cars in that little triangle. Right, any questions? Is there anything you want to add? There's not. Anything from the public?
Questions, please.
Is there anything from the public? Okay, so what's the pleasure of the
This-
board?
So our paperwork's going to be modified to 38, right? Obviously,
Yes.
it says 150 on here.
Yeah, if the motion could include the 38.
There's a new plan I uploaded today,
Okay, so
38.
I'll move it for 38 only at this time.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. This is it. You're good. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paula.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Rose, we already embarrassed Steve.
Yeah,
Do
you
you want to
already just-
embarrass Steve
Tony was
further, or
already
you
here.
just want to sit here? Yeah.
Your classmate Tony already took care of business.
I don't know why, I thought the last time I had it had moved
Okay.
Oh,
to another building.
oh.
I went down there, I said, no, meeting's not here.
Okay.
His mom went to the wrong place.
Anyway.
She didn't know where he'd
That
been
was
working.
just before I left, so I left late too.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. So the next item we have is a request to approve the resignation of Ronald Savaria from the Shellfish Advisory Board.
Motion accept.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. We have a request from Chris Leonard, Director of Marine Services, to appoint Richard E. Smith as part-time as-needed Assistant Harbor Master. Welcome, Mr. Leonard
Hey, Mr.
and Mr. Smith.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name is Christopher Leonard, Director of Marine Services. Underneath my umbrella would be the Harbor Master Department, the Shellfish Department, the Wharfinger, the 88 Boat Ramp, and the Hicks Bridge Boat Ramp. I am here before you with a new appointee, somebody who knows a little bit about the Westport River. Rick has operated boats, vessels, large and small, in the Westport River. And last year, he got the Gold Star for volunteer work. Out of the 63 trips that it took to plant the 5,000 bushels, or just shy of 5,000 bushels, he was there 48 times.
Wow.
Which is the Gold Star volunteer. So Rick has been on the water, seen the operation of what we do in the Shellfish Department, operates his own boat, which is larger than any of our Harbor Master boats or shellfish boats, and he would be a wonderful addition. And in the time of need, I can drive by his house and pick him up. So he would be somebody that would be an excellent addition to the Marine Services Department, and he's one of my favorite, a retiree. So, you know, this is.
You're gonna put him to work.
No, this one of my favorite. Sometimes younger people too are my favorite because it's like a block of clay that you can mold a little bit and say, oh, you don't want to do that. Like, let's keep it keep it good. But anyway, I have him here before you.
All right, thank you. And do you want to say anything, Rick?
A couple of things. First of all, is that a play on words about the umbrella tonight?
Yeah, watch him.
To Representative-elect, congratulations, good luck.
Thank you.
I know you represent us well up on the Hill. You served us well all these years. One question, when were you ever home?
Yeah. That's why my mother was late. She didn't know where I was. So.
She knows where you are now.
Thank you.
Just a couple of things. First of all, I'm looking forward to, if approved, to the opportunity to serve the town. I serve on a couple of boards in town, and I take great pleasure in it. Just for your comfort, I am a licensed Coast Guard captain. My medical certificates are up to snuff. My CPR and first aid is where it should be. Those certificates are all active. And for those who don't know me, I had 46 years in public safety, 21 of those years in chief executive position. So I've worked with people my whole life. And my goal is to be able to help the director and the Division of Marine Services when called upon, and do whatever's needed, whether it be education, whether it be, assistance rendered, or when he goes by the house and whistles out front, I'm running out. So, again, my goal is to give back. I've had a wonderful career, and I look forward to that opportunity.
Thank you.
Through the chair, there's no problem with the hire, the posting, or whatever, meeting requirements, nothing needed.
No, he's on the list, he's good to go.
All right, if there's no other objections, I'll move them.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. I'm going to ask the board, allow me to bump up item 4J. So 4J is a request from Chris Leonard to post the part-time as needed harbor master position. So we have multiples of these part-time harbor masters.
We do, if I could speak, we have a lot of people that come and help out. Some stay with us, some don't, some of them age out. And Rick is a great addition, but we need more. I don't want to stress him out too much. So we would like to have a job posting done and Indeed to see who's out there and who could help us. We do many things, whether it's the Clean Vessel Act and pumping out vessels, transplanting, shellfish patrols, harbor master patrols, and everything in between, to buoy painting, to your wildest dream that's happening and unfolding before us that we need to take care of. So we'd just like to maybe get a few more people in on the fun.
Sounds good, I'll move it to post. Second.
So a motion and a second to post a part-time as needed harbor master position. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. I have one more that we might be interested in Mr. Leonard's input. 4G, we have a request, do you know if anyone from Dharma Voyage is coming?
They were supposed to, but I don't see anybody here.
They've come before.
So maybe we won't vote on this yet, but we have a request from Dharma Voyage to run a regatta in the form of a rowboat race in the Westport Harbor on Saturday, June 7, from 11 to 12:45 for a period of less than 2 hours. Have you had a chance to review that request?
Yes, I do have just a slight summary of what's going on. It's an ongoing thing where they came to me via email requesting this, and I said, well, we should probably go before the select board, the fire chief, the police chief, and just see if there's any comment out there. Personally, I don't have any problem. June 7th, it's still quiet in the river. A concern for early June is the water is very clear and very cold, but they do have 4 chase boats. Towboat US will be. I will have people stationed down at the harbor office, and so we're ready. And I think that the math isn't reasonable. I mean, is reasonable. There's nothing that's unreasonable that they brought before, other than it shouldn't be completely my call. And I would like this to go before a bunch of people to make sure that we're not missing anything, for the sake of transparency, and just to say, hey, we're doing this. And I think it's a great thing for Westport, and they have a Spindle Rock Club to operate out of, which is a really beautiful location. So I think this is something that Dharma has been a great thing, getting people out and exercising on the river, and I'm all for it, so.
Jim, have we gotten feedback from any other departments, or did we check with any other?
We did not, we just sent it to Chris.
To Chris, okay. So, but we think I'm wondering if we should take action on this, or if we should wait and see if anyone from Dharma Voyage shows up, because I did bump this up in the agenda. So it sounds like at least, Chris, if I'm gonna paraphrase you, you don't have any objections.
I don't have any objections. I just think that notifying people, I mean, in this proposed thing, we talk about the police chief, the fire chief, the director of marine services, the select board, and so I just want to be able to cover all the bases to just get any other input that we might have. But if it would have been 4th of July weekend, I would have probably said, no, it's not a great idea. But early June, I think one of the major players is just going to be cold water. So as long as we have 4 chase boats, plus Towboat US, plus myself, plus any assets from Trips or Spindle Rock or anything like that, I don't see a problem with this.
Thank you. So do you guys want to take action on this, or do you want to wait and come back
I
to
don't
it?
think it matters,
I don't think it is.
no, but just to make sure, you're not sponsoring it, you're just okaying it, right?
Yes,
You're not, our name isn't gonna be on as a sponsor, okay, just because of liability.
that's why we're here too, yeah, no,
yeah.
there's, yeah.
Jim, did you have any concerns about us acting on this?
I do not, nope.
All right, we haven't had a problem with Dahmer before, right? No complaints last year. I suggest we move it now while Chris is here.
Second it.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the regatta as described for Saturday, June 7, from 11 to 12:45. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Chris, is there anything else that, like, I don't think there's another topic that we have for you, but is there anything else you wanted to just talk about briefly while you're here?
Well, I mean, just a quick update. Here we are for another season. We've had a bunch of really nice days, and I've had a few calls with just people going out, taking advantage of the nice day. And the best thing that I can say is be careful. The water is still very cold. Marketplace is a great place to buy a new toy, but make sure that it's good.
Make sure you know
Because
how to
we
use
had, there's a couple of Sundays ago at about 8:30, there was a boat that lost power close to East Beach, which is really difficult for us. It was blowing that weekend, very cold, and I called Sector Southeast New England to make sure the Coast Guard knew about this, and they had to mobilize a boat from Menemsha to come and tow them to safety. Of course, if there would have been a medical emergency, a fire, sinking, something of that, I mean, we would have gone. But seeing that I was able to be there, they were a quarter mile off the beach, we could see them, we had cell phone communication, there was no real emergency that they were able to go ahead and do that. But it's just these warm days, business as usual. We have our printing for the waterway user fee. Gary Tripp and I were out there checking the block and tackle for all of the channel markers that are gonna go in. We usually put them in the last week of April, weather depending. The official kickoff for me is more or less Mother's Day. You don't have your boat in for Mother's Day, I don't know. But that's just, that was just always a time for me. So we're just getting ready to go out and collect money and have enough people to keep the peace out on the river. The Shellfish Department, we are working on, I believe April 14th, we'll be back here after a Shellfish Advisory meeting tomorrow night with the contract for the 2025 Quahog Relay to plant another 5,000 bushels. So we're just kind of business as usual, another go-around. Of course, if anybody has any questions, my number's on the door of the office, or call and, we'll figure it out. So it's just kind of business as usual for another busy season, so.
Thank you. Anything for?
No, just be careful, the Fennellys are becoming world famous down there with they're giving seminars now and everything, so.
Oh, that's it. I can also give an update on the dredging project. 50,000 cubic yards were removed from the federal channel. The dredging is complete. We are just kind of seeing how we had I'll just call it an auxiliary channel form, and now that seems to be dissipating and joining the dredged channel. But stay tuned, this is Mother Nature. We try to do our best to mark good water and keep the commercial fishing fleet and the not the private fleet, but just the recreational fleet happy and in good water. So we'll see how that unfolds. But the dredging is complete with the cost to the town, I believe right now, of $0. So
Great.
That was an excellent thing. I'd like to thank everybody that helped out with that.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
Good luck out there.
Thank you.
So now we're back on the agenda for A. So 4A, authorize the town administrator to sign water service right of entry forms. Jim, you want to explain this?
Yeah, so as part of the waterline project up on Gifford Road and Osborne Street and Route 6, Infrastructure Oversight Committee, and this has been discussed a number of times, looking to use part of the funding to provide the service from the street to the foundation. And these forms they've been approved by town council. Just the property owner signs off that the town will do the work and just gives us the right to enter their property to do that work. This will be funded through the PFAS grant, but mainly through the ARPA funds that have been designated for this project. No town funds coming out of the operating budget for the project.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
And then we should have, right now, we have about close to 60 properties that are interested in tying in. So we're hoping we get over 50 by the time we're done.
That's great.
All right, I'll move it.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. I think I was supposed to be saying this unanimous with one absence. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
that Paula will
technically.
correct
Yeah.
correct my mistake. 4B, we have a request from Michael Burris to revise the makeup of the Beach Management Planning Committee by removing the Select Board representative and adding a Planning Board representative and appointing Jim Whiten to the committee as the Planning Board representative. You'll recall at our last meeting, none of us volunteered to do this, and Jim Whiten agreed to take on the responsibility, so.
So I move we approved, we remove ourselves as designating board members for the commission and appoint Jim White to
Second.
represent the planning board.
Yep, second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous.
Nope.
And one
absent.
absence.
There you go.
Thank you. We have a request from Jim Hartnett to review and approve the Mass DOT letter for Drift Road culvert design. Jim?
Yes, we had a lengthy discussion, I believe, at the last meeting on the Drift Road culvert. Looking for them to continue to work on the design, but there are a number of items that the neighbors and the board had questions about, or at least wanted to note when it went up to Mass DOT to give them the authority to move ahead with the design. A letter has been prepared, it's in your packet, and if the letter is okay, then I'd like the approval, and I will send it out.
So Steve is going to abstain from this. Is there any discussion? Any questions?
No, I'll move approval.
Second.
Is there anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's 3 ayes, 1
Abstain.
abstention, and 1 absent.
Very good.
We have a request from Martin Costa of Clean Our Westport, COW, to hang the banner for the annual spring cleanup day, Saturday, April 12, 2025.
Yeah, like I mentioned last week, he wanted this included, but he didn't have it in time to make the agenda, so asking this week. I'll move it.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Paula, you're usually wrangling of whoever
Yeah,
wants
so you can
based
do
on
it.
that time.
Actually, I need to talk to Chris that those poles are getting pretty ragged. He said
Oh, boy.
he doesn't know how much longer that the banners will be able to be
Ooh,
hung.
All right.
okay, let's keep us tuned on that.
If all goes okay with that, then we're good.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous with 1 absence. We have a request from Tom Aubin of the Westport Community Schools Superintendent to approve the transfer of the capital improvements request from the Macomber School playground to the Westport Elementary School generators. So, Jim, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so this was, both of these requests were on the CIPC list and heard before the CIPC committee. The committee voted to recommend that the playground be added to the list for town meeting. In the meantime, they've had additional problems with the generators. They can't get pots for the generator. So I think there's 2 generators at the elementary school, and it's become more of a priority for them, and they've requested that we swap out the playground for the funds to be used for the generators. They're also looking at possibly using some CPC funding next year for the playgrounds instead of free cash. This will be going before the finance committee as well.
So Dick, you're our CIPC.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question. Is the amount the same? I think it was 335?
It is very close, yeah, 335 or 25,000?
Yeah,
I have it here.
so the same amount, basically.
Same amount,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
But, so we had previously closed the warrant article, right? So what's the proper vote here? Is to open the warrant, make this change?
Just say to recommend to the finance committee that this be, geez, I don't know if you have to go, you don't have to go before the finance committee. I think the board can just put it on the warrant. So it'd be a motion to amend the article to swap out the playground for the generators.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous, with 1 absence. We have a request from Dharma Voyage to purchase 4 Hicksbridge landing passes. So we've done this for a number of years now. While many of their what would you call them? Many of their participants are members of Westport and get their own Hicksbridge pass. Some of the people aren't residents, and so we've been issuing 4 passes so that they can have their non-resident members participate. They do use it in off hours from the rest of, it's not usually, it hasn't been a problem. There's nobody here for Dharma Voyage though, right? Right, is there any questions or comment? What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll move it since we've been doing it for years with no issues.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous with 1 absence. We did G already. H, review the comments from the Board of Health and the Planning Board regarding the town engineer job description. So you see in your packet, we did send the job description to the Board of Health and Planning Board. Most of the changes or comments that they had were related to just making it very clear that they wanted the town engineer to act on request from those boards and not because those boards are still responsible for what they're responsible for. I don't think we need to actually take any action yet until we're in the position of negotiating the job description, but it's up to you all. Did anybody want to do anything with this?
No, I think I think I'd like to see the final job description minus all the track changes from the 2 different boards.
Okay.
So I could forward the revised one?
Why don't you take their
To the,
comments into
personnel board?
effect, take their comments, combine, whatever you think is appropriate, and just present it back to us.
Okay.
Some of their comments I don't think are necessary. I'm not saying include all their comments, I'm saying use your judgment about.
Okay.
Are we interfering, I mean, we've got 3 weeks before our next meeting. There was some anxiousness to try to get that position posted. Is there a way we can do this by posting the position and then approving the final job description? Again, when you post jobs, you don't post the entire job description. You usually post a description and summary of the job.
I think we can, didn't we do that?
We have not posted yet, no. And I don't think either way, either the original or the comments make
They're
much
not
of a difference with
significant.
the job performance or the job duties of the engineer.
So we haven't posted though on this agenda we haven't put on the agenda to post the job description. So I don't know, do you think that's a material enough change to not act on that?
Do we,
I don't think it is.
do we vote to post every job description that the town?
Not the job description, the posting for the job itself.
But do we put it on our agenda every time we do that?
We do.
Okay.
We can get it ready, so after the next meeting, we can post it right away.
So let's put the posting for the town engineer position on the job description. I was made aware yesterday of an alternative budget that's going to be presented by a finance committee member to the finance committee tomorrow. And part of that alternative budget is reducing the town engineer's salary to part-time. Finance committee hasn't taken any action on that yet. They'll be talking about it tomorrow. That might inform whether it's budgeted or not, might inform whether we post it or not. All right, so we don't need any action on that. We have a request to approve change order number 1 for Diggett LLC for $893,129.46. Do you want to talk about this one, Jim?
Yeah, so this is the construction contract for Diggett, which is the company that is currently under contract to do the water line installation on Gifford Road, Osborne Street, Route 6, and East Briggs Street. Under this contract, the town received some very competitive or aggressive pricing, and I would recommend that we take advantage of that pricing by approving the change order. It's already been before the Infrastructure Oversight Committee for East Briggs Road and some additional work along Route 6. Again, I'd recommend approving the change order.
So this is one we've talked about before. The bid came in significantly lower than what we had, and so we added on or changed the request to include more work, and then the additions to the home, right? So
Yeah,
this
and
is,
that's a big part of it.
so this is that change that we've talked about before. This is not different. Okay. And it's all
just
funded in the
formalizes the process.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say what you were saying. It's out of the funds allocated. It's not taxation, just to make that clear. All right, I'll move it. Get it done while they can.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. I didn't have anything under discussion. Jim, I didn't see a town administrator report in the packet, but do you have
No town administrative report tonight.
no report tonight? Okay.
Yeah, Paula made a note in the email.
We have minutes for March 10, Craig?
Yes, I have read them. I think they're fine, so I'll move approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous with one absence. We have a report on the bill warrant.
Madam Chair, the bill warrant report is in the package. It was fairly routine. I didn't note any unusual large items, and we don't need approval here, so it's just informational, but everything was in order. And the total amount was $1.9 million, which is a fairly modest number. I mean, I'm not saying it's chicken feed, but it is, as these things go, sometimes we've seen $2 or $3 or $4 million. So this one was fairly routine as these go. That's my report.
So then we have selectmen liaison committee reports or suggestions for future agenda items. Craig, we'll start with you.
Okay, so I had two meetings last week. The opioid settlement funds advisory board. We're still doing a little bit of preliminary work prior to soliciting proposals for programs and activities. The purpose of this is to sharpen our focus in terms of doing that RFP and to prioritize the types of proposals we're looking for. And so we got to hear from some programs that are being done in other communities. And one thing that we have learned, and I also learned in my other capacity, is that to the extent that we approach some of these projects, or that some of our applicants approach these projects with other communities in partnership with them, it would increase our ability to get, in addition to our funds from the Commonwealth, because they are actually set aside. Only 40% of the opioid settlement funds went to the local cities and towns. The 60% is still under the control of the Commonwealth. And so departments that oversee that as well. So the extent that we can begin to look not only at what we have, but looking at the ability to accessing statewide funds, particularly if we have a lot of ideas and a lot of programs that we'd be interested in supporting. And then the Affordable Housing Trust, we will be reissuing an RFP for land acquisition. We did not receive a proposal that that crossed all of the Ts and dotted the Is, and so we're going to be doing more on that as well.
Thank you. Dick?
Madam Chair, the only thing I have to talk about is the ASERTA. We had our monthly meeting, and they were starting to work on the 2026 budget. We pay roughly $53,000, I think, a year as part of that, because we do have bus service. By the way, the bus service now is free. They were able to get a grant. I don't know how long that will continue, but that's quite impressive that they were able to get that grant. We were advised that the usual 2.5% increase would probably be in this 26 budget, and we should think about that, but there are no other big initiatives. I know they're working on like a Uber-type service related to the train stations, but I don't know how that is going to play out. But anyway, all is fine there. That's the only thing I have to report.
Thank you. Steve?
I'll let you remind people on the election. Dick just touched base on it. The train is free through March, any day in the week, free parking. The Fall River one is just like 2 blocks right near Al Max Diner and Fall River on Duval Street. It's a really smooth ride. Everybody should take a ride, just at least check it out since it's free. Matter of fact, you can take the bus to the area and the whole day will be free. And the same thing, New Bedford is right off Route 18. So check it out, it's pretty cool. You can go up Boston, especially on the weekends. Go up there and check out a ball game or something, it'd be a fun day. Otherwise than that, I thank everybody for the help through the years.
Thank you.
Just one little addition there. I did ride on one of those Uber-type vehicles that GATRA operates up in the Taunton area, because in order to get our our destination this morning was where the ceremonies were held for South Coast Rail was in East Taunton at the new T station there. And, but they have limited on-site parking. So in order to get back to the vehicle that I was riding in, I used to ride back with somebody, we were riding in a Gatra electric, all-electric Uber-type vehicle.
So I had a couple. So I mentioned tomorrow evening, there is a finance committee meeting where they are going to vote on the final budget to be presented to town meeting. Like I mentioned, there is an alternative budget being proposed and talked about. It significantly cuts the town side of the funding. So Jim, if you can send that spreadsheet out to the members of the board with the proposal. The FinCom hasn't discussed it yet, and they're gonna talk about it and finalize it tomorrow. I had an offshore wind meeting last night. Probably the notable event out of that was we were given information on intervenor status. Should a project reach a certain level of maturity that it's proposing in Westport, we would be notified that we are pretty much if they're gonna land here. We have very little, we have zero control until they land in Westport. But if a project gets to a certain maturity level of landing in Westport, we would be notified and given the ability as a municipality to undertake an intervenor status. And the intervenor, I think we would want to do this. The intervenor doesn't have, it's like a non-voting member on the committee that would be reviewing the permitting and reviewing all of the regulations and the decisions that are being made by the permitting agency. So we do not have, I'm going to say this a million times, we do not have a project that is planning to land in Westport. We are an alternate for a project that is moving forward with New Haven, or New London, Connecticut. So we are as an alternate, but we're not reached this status yet. The thing about the intervenor status is, like I said, I think we'd want to be there so that we're getting a close hand look at, or we'd want somebody there representing Westport. It's also available to private companies or private entities. So say the Watershed Alliance or Buzzards Bay Coalition or even neighbors could also petition to be interveners. But I think we're a long way away from that. But once if a project does decide to land here, we would only have 21 days to make that decision. So it was really, I think it was important to kind of understand what intervenor status is, because we'll have to move pretty quickly if something happens.
It may have changed since I did this 40 years ago, but I was with a group that hired an intervenor, and you need a lawyer to do that.
You do.
So it's not a citizen empowerment, go in and express your opinion. You got to retain counsel, and we would have to spend money to retain counsel as an intervenor.
There's some money available from the Commonwealth to assist municipalities with stuff like that. So that's some more. If it became more real or more imminent, I think we need to look into how we might get funding from the Commonwealth to participate. Because you're right, it's a legal proceeding that's
Yes.
very complex. Were you just holding your pen, or did you have something?
No, nothing.
Just-
Yeah, just fiddling.
And then Steve mentioned it, the town election is on Tuesday, April 8th. This is one of the elections where the polls open at 10, so you have to go after work. So it's 10 to 8, the polls are open, the usual 5 polling places. You have until March 28 to register to vote. The town clerk has information about the absentee voting on the website. You can fill out an application. If you're not going to be in town, you can fill out an application and email it to the clerk's office. If you have any questions, talk to the town clerk.
Precinct A is still a church, correct?
Still a church, yeah. There's the Our Lady of Grace is precinct A. There has been some talk about reducing the polling locations, but for this election, it's still the same 5 polling locations and I think they will all be the same everybody went to in November.
Forum tomorrow night?
There is a candidates forum tomorrow at the high school from 6 to 7:15, I think. So 6 p.m. at the high school tomorrow. There is a candidate forum. There's also a candidate forum at the Council on Aging on Wednesday, from 9:30 to 11:30. Those, I believe both of them are gonna be televised, or I don't know if they'll be live streamed, but they'll certainly be taped. So that'll give people a chance to, learn more about the candidates.
Just so
The-
people
the-
know,
yeah, the-
I'm going to be at the Eversource hearing tomorrow night at the
Yeah,
same time.
so the forum tomorrow is only the select board candidates because it's the only, the only contested races. But I believe the Council on Aging is allowing all candidates to come.
Thanks.
Anything else from the board? Do we have anything from the public? Comments or statements? We have two public here.
Got a candidate and a mom.
Okay, just a reminder to everybody, we still have vacancies on boards, committees, and commissions. Even if it looks like there's not a vacancy, there might be. So if you're interested in participating, please contact somebody. We
I
can
would,
usually find.
I believe we filled our last vacancy at our last meeting. The, Gay Gillespie was appointed to be on the Affordable Housing Trust.
Nice,
And so we no longer need another member for that committee.
Good.
good.
Yeah. Economic development still needs some.
Economic development still needs a bike walking path, needs
Yep.
some, historical commission needs some alternates. And like I said, some of these people on these boards are just, they're ready to move on, but, they want to make sure somebody comes in to replace them. So if you have any
Absolutely.
interest in a topic, please reach out.
Yeah.
That's everything I had on my list.
Okay, if that's it, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.